Okay, so why, like, do you, like, encourage people not to become a lawyer? Like, what would you tell them?
So, unfortunately, there are a lot of people who go to law school and become lawyers for a lot of the wrong reasons. Unfortunately, a lot of people think that being a lawyer is a fast path to making a ton of money. That is nowhere close to being true. Yeah, you're driving down the road. You
get 7 years of debt.
Well, not beyond that.
Yeah.
Even if you manage to get there without an incredible amount of student loans, and by the way, I graduated with plenty of people who graduated with $250,000 worth of student loans. Even if you aren't saddled with all of those student loans, the people, the handful, the small fraction of a percentage of the lawyers that you see on the billboards and on the TV commercials with the private jets and the billions of dollars in settlements or whatever, they are a fraction of the percentage. Honestly, when I graduated law school, my first year practicing as an attorney, I made less money than I did as a FedEx courier. So you cannot become a lawyer, and it is not a fast track to making a ton of money. It is not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just even look up, government lawyers and judges. All of that is public record. Go look on LinkedIn or Indeed or whatever. Just go searching attorney job postings. Some of the better attorney jobs around Little Rock are maybe $100,000 or $130,000 a year. I don't know how much y'all have priced housing lately, but that is not rich.
Mm-hmm.
That is
bare
maybe
minimum.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I've got my used Hyundai Santa Fe out there parked. Like, I did not roll up in a Rolls, y'all. I own my own law firm. I did not roll up in a Rolls. Okay, so that's the first thing. It is not a get-rich-quick solution to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Being a lawyer does not mean you are rich, full stop. So that's the first reason why you should not just rush to law school. A lot of people do it for the status. Again, there are pros and cons to that. Yes, being able to say, I am a lawyer is great sometimes. People sometimes automatically hate me for it. Sometimes people automatically trust me for it. Being able to walk into a situation, maybe a volatile situation, and say, I'm a lawyer, I can fix this, and have that sort of status is great sometimes,
mm-hmm.
but it is also a huge weight on my shoulders. It is also a huge burden. I have woken up out of a dead sleep sometimes because of the burden that my clients have put on me, knowing that their problems are now my problems.
Yeah.
So that kind of balances out. If that is not something that your particular personality or whatever can handle, don't do it. Because being able to go to a cocktail party and say, I'm a lawyer, is great until you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning going, oh my God, I'm their lawyer.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. And then also, too, so when you go to law school, depending on which school you go to, a lot of law schools have sort of an automatic cutoff after the first semester. If you don't have a certain GPA or whatever, you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. If you can't cut it after the first semester, you are just gone.
Yeah.
And then I also went to school with a lot of people that after a certain amount of time, they just said, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. And they just sort of flushed themselves out. And the thing is, when I say things like, oh, law school isn't for everyone, I understand how snobby that sounds, but like, it's not just, oh, I'm smarter or I'm better than you. It's just a very particular type of work. It's a very particular type of skills that not everyone has or wants to have. I wouldn't make it 2 weeks in med school.
Yeah.
But I'm just very, very good at reading
mm-hmm.
an incredibly dense amount of stuff.
Yeah.
And responding with writing an incredibly amount of dense stuff. So My particular talent that I happened to be born with was that I am just a very good reader.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way my brain is wired. I'm actually a speed reader. Once I realized I was a speed reader, I actually went and made the effort to sort of hone those skills. I can read at about 3 times the rate of most adults. That was very helpful in law school.
Yeah.
When you have to read like 25 cases a night for homework.
Yeah.
That made it a lot easier for me. So when I say law school's not for everyone, if reading is not your thing, if you hate it, if whatever, law school is probably not for you.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that. But yeah, in particular, just if you just want the status or the money, and then the last thing, few things drive me crazier in this entire world than when people, particularly teenagers, sorry, but my mom used to do this to me too. If anybody ever comes up to me and says, well, my mom said I'm really good at arguing, so I should go to law school. First of all, that's really just a nice way of saying you're a jerk.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that for lawyers, a fraction of a percentage of a fraction of lawyers actually spend their time, quote unquote, arguing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like you see in movies, they're in court and they're actually going at it back and forth, whatever. A fraction of a percentage of their time is spent actually arguing. Most lawyers, most of the time, most of their day is spent reading an incredible amount of stuff and responding by writing an incredible amount of dense, boring stuff. There are maybe a few dozen hotshot trial attorneys that work in ginormous firms whose job it is to show up and showboat at trials. You're not going to be that person. And for them to get there, they first had to be the ones in the cubicles reading and writing. Bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, if somebody told you, oh, you're good at arguing, you should be an attorney, that is not your ticket to law school. Mm-hmm. Stop. Anyway, it's all about reading.
Okay.
Don't go to law school because somebody told you that you're good at arguing. You're probably just a jerk. And you can put me on record saying that.
Okay. I don't have any more questions about it. You kind of covered everything.
You don't go to law school just because you're a jerk.
Yeah, don't go to law school just because you're a jerk, guys. And if you don't like reading and writing, don't do it either.
That's it. That's all I came here for. Thank you.